No.
Okay.
No. No. I know the numbers. I know the business. No, it's not.
Leonard Ellerbee clears the air with all of this news coming out about Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford. You've been listening to your favorite YouTube channels selling you all these lies, snake oil, and pipe dreams. But in this video, we're going to talk about the real. We're going to talk about what Mr. Leonard Ellerbee had to say about all these lies that's been reported when it comes to Bud and Canelo Alvarez. And also how David Benavidez plays a big part in this picture. Make sure y'all hit my like button, subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed yet, and let's cook. So all these reports coming out about Canelo Alvarez fighting Terence Bud Crawford either in May or September. I continue to tell people these are lies. A lot of your favorite YouTube channels, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. They just making these lies up to get people to click and watch. But they feeding y'all lies. They making y'all believe things are gonna happen that's not even in play. They telling y'all, oh, Canelo Alvarez is now considering Bud Crawford as a major player for September. Breaking news. Terence Bud Crawford is training and bulking up for Canelo Alvarez. All this shit is made up. Now, I did a video last week, and I'll let y'all hear what Bomac had to say about the situation. And Bomac said when it comes to Canelo and Terence Bud Crawford, they ain't heard nothing like that. He don't know where all this news is coming from because they haven't heard Canelo considering Terence Crawford as an option. But I understand if you're a fan of Terence Bud Crawford and you follow these channels, you want to believe these things that these channels is pushing out. All of this false hope and all of these lies, you want to believe it because you want Bud and Canelo Alvarez to fight so much. You want the fight to happen so bad, so you want to believe this news. But like I said, Leonard Ellerbee, he just exposed all of this shit. And I'm going to play y'all the audio and let y'all hear all of what Ellerbee had to say. But one thing I kept telling people is, look, man, Terence Bud Crawford is not signed to Al Haymon. Terence Crawford has only done business with Al Haymon one time, and we know that one time was for Errol Spence. Bud Crawford still owes Errol Spence a rematch. As far as we know, Errol Spence still wants that rematch. It's been a whole lot of false news coming out telling y'all that Errol Spence, he not gonna be ready because he had the cataract surgery. That's also a lie. I explained that to y'all on several different occasions, how Errol Spence has already been healed from that surgery and he training already. So it's a lot of narratives going out there to make y'all think that Errol Spence is no longer in play and Terence Crawford's next fight will be Canelo Alvarez. Now, back to what I was saying. Bud Crawford, he only did business with Al Haymon one time. Now, Errol Spence, he been doing business with Al Haymon almost his whole career. And David Benavidez been doing business with Al Haymon damn near his whole career. Now, Al Haymon is not going to have a fighter in Bud Crawford that only did business with him once, that's not signed to him, jump over Errol Spence, who is deserving of a rematch, and David Benavidez, who's been Canelo Alvarez's mandatory for years. The business don't work like that. Al Haymon ain't never worked like that. If he did, y'all would have heard how dirty he is from a bunch of fighters, but you ain't never heard that. Now, I'll get into all of that a little bit later in the video and explain and give y'all the breakdown. But before I do all of that, let me let y'all listen to everything that Ellerbee had to say in regards to this situation. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all the lowdown and the real.
He may be thinking more the Crawford fight later in the year than a fight with Benavidez. What do you think, Leonard?
I think that Canelo Alvarez speaks for himself. He has a fantastic manager in Eddie Reynoso. And when one of them two say what that man is doing, that's what it is. All this other bullshit talk about speculation and rumors, it's all bullshit.
Is the fight with Crawford more of a crossover fight than Benavidez? In terms of mainstream?
No. 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 I know the numbers. I know the business. No, it's not.
I'm not trying to contradict.
It has nothing to do whether somebody deserves a fight or whether they should fight. We're just talking about the business.
Yeah, yeah.
The Benavidez Canelo fight and
Crawford and Canelo.
It's no comparison. The business of which fight is bigger, the Benavidez fight is bigger. It's a much bigger fight. Has nothing to do with Terence Crawford. We're talking about the business.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just talking about the business, and Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the sport. I mean, he's proven that, but it has nothing to do with the business. You got to know what that means. You got to know what that means. It's like, for an example, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, two tremendous fighters. Everybody know Errol's my guy. But the biggest fight in boxing all along was Tank and Ryan. Their fight was the most talked about fight in the last 6 or 7 years. Two young undefeated guys in their prime. You know, and their fight had been talked about for so. But the business says something else. That fight did half of what Tank's fight did, and their fight did very well. You know, but it's just, again, you got to understand how this works. See, we're not in a situation over here where we're burning money. You know, you have one promoter in particular, don't give a just like it don't matter. Like, but like we try to make smart, conscientious decisions when it comes to, you know, and sometimes you make fights that people don't necessarily agree with, but again, it's like there's always a plan. There's always a plan, a method to the madness, we say, and there's a long-term plan.
And it just don't get no clearer than that. See, Ellerbee, he gonna tell y'all in a professional business way. I'm gonna break it down to y'all in a simple way. What he is saying is they're not burning no money to make no Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford fight. You heard him say all the news that's been putting out is bullshit. They're lies. When you hear some news, you gonna hear from Canelo Alvarez's mouth himself. And he also telling y'all that Canelo ain't just gonna be able to jump over no David Benavidez fight to make a Crawford fight when a David Benavidez fight is much, much bigger than Terence Crawford. He said a Crawford and Canelo fight ain't even close to what Canelo and David Benavidez will do. I already know the numbers. You heard the man. We already know the numbers. You see what I'm saying? And we're not going to let Terence Crawford come over here and just do what he want to do because he think that he big. He don't move the needle like that. I'm sorry. He told you, yes, we think that Bud is the best fighter in the world. But that doesn't translate to ticket sales. That doesn't translate to pay-per-view sales. David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, oh yeah, that's the fight that we want to make because that is the biggest fight. So, for one, Canelo Alvarez is signed to the PBC. Yes, Canelo Alvarez, he pretty much do what he want to do. But when he signed with the PBC, it's up to them what fights they're willing to put on. And they're not going to be willing to put on no Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez when they got a David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez fight waiting right there for Canelo. A fight that you heard Leonard Ellerbee say, hey, that's clearly one of the biggest fights in boxing, if not the biggest fight in boxing. And I've been telling people that. Y'all think we just got Canelo over here just to do anything and we just gonna pay him just these mega $50, $60 million paydays? Yeah, we'll pay him that, but he gonna have to fight who we want him to fight. And David Benavidez is the next big thing. David Benavidez does business with Al Heyman. Yeah, y'all got to know what you're talking about before you start listening to these channels that's selling y'all false dreams and hope. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is not happening. You never heard Canelo out of his mouth say that he was willing to fight Terence Bud Crawford. Canelo said, hey, I'm not going to get no credit for it. You know, what does this do for me? What do me beating Bud Crawford do for me? Nothing. And like I keep telling y'all, Bud is not a PBC fighter. PBC, Al Heyman, they look out for their fighters. Bud gonna have to fight somebody, and it's probably gonna be on the PBC, but it ain't gonna be Canelo Alvarez. Now, I know y'all mad biting blood out your bottom lip, talking about, oh, you're hating on Bud, you hate. No, I'm telling y'all the truth. See, y'all want to listen to a lie because the lie is what y'all want to hear. The truth may not be what you want to hear all the time, but at the end of the day, it's reality. I'm giving y'all reality. Anyway, y'all heard what the man said. Make sure that you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed, and y'all already know how I do. Diego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
Swinging with tops big. Hey, clear the way.